Hey everyone, so if you can hear me, I am just going to be joining you in a few minutes. Um, Hoping you're enjoying this beautiful day so far. And I will be back with you in just a few minutes to get started. Um, and I might also give a few minutes for others to join us. So looking forward to sharing the information with you, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Okay, bye bye. Hi everyone, I'm back. So thank you for joining me on the webinar. I wanted to give a few minutes for everyone to join us here, and we'll be talking about secret to attract riches. So, and let's see here. So you should be able to see me now. And maybe give me just a second. Okay, let's see if this will be good. We'll see. Okay, so that might be better. So, thank you again for joining me. Just wanted to give a few minutes here. Just a second. Be right back. Maybe I'll give another minute for everyone to join us, and then we can get started. So, looking forward to sharing the information. Why don't we go ahead and get started with the webinar? Okay, so this webinar is going to be a major secret to attract riches. And so, welcome again. If you want to say hi on the line with us on YouTube, or if you're joining us on the phone, if you want to say hi, feel free to say hi, and welcome to everyone who's joining us for this webinar. Okay, so this is a major secret to attract riches, and so I'm going to be talking with you about some major secrets to attract riches today. Of course, I always say a major secret, and then I share more, much more than that. So the aim is always to give you more than you bargained for. So now I'm guessing that for a lot of you, this isn't your first webinar. And the first thing that I want to mention is that if you have failed at attracting riches in the past, it's not your fault. Um, there's a lot of information out there, and it can be confusing and overwhelming. Um, and a lot of times it's the information overload that keeps you from success, but it's okay. If you've been concerned in the past that you can't succeed with attracting riches, I want to put those fears to rest for you. You can do this. Sometimes you just need the right person to explain it to you. All right. Big corporations want you to think that maybe you need fancy degrees or certificates or venture capital or things like that to attract riches. And I'm here to tell you that they're wrong. They have their own reasons for wanting you to think that it's not true. If you've ever thought that governments, banks especially, want you to fail, you may be right. Unfortunately, they don't benefit from you succeeding. They want to keep you in debt and in need, giving away your power so that you will need them. The difference with us is that we actually care about your success, and we really want to see you live the life of your dreams. So that's what we're here for. I know maybe you have a dream, you want to change the world, you want to make a difference, make an impact. help people, I want to show you how you can do that here um, on this webinar. So my goals for people who are just starting out, maybe you haven't had any luck with attracting riches with manifestation. So I want to help you as a beginner, maybe, to just hit the ground running when it comes to attracting riches. Keep going from there and continue to attract the riches that you've been desiring. Say for a person who's intermediate and they've had some manifestations, but not a whole lot. So for someone who's an intermediate level, to give you some major secrets on how to attract riches so you can continue on your journey manifesting, attracting these riches, and just keep going, attracting riches from there to see how far you can go. Um, for a person who's advanced, you've had a lot of manifestations, but you still want to get more manifestations, attracting riches, and probably most people do. It's great for you. In this webinar, we want to give you even more tools, even more major secrets to attract riches so that you can continue on your journey as well and just keep going up and up for attracting riches. Okay. So what qualifies me? So I've been doing a manifestation unknowingly since I was a little kid, I would say. I was maybe 2 or 3 when I first remember my first manifestation. But after that, I would say as an adult, I've been manifesting now for more than a decade, doing it, being conscious of it, being aware of it. Because before a lot of things, you have knowledge, knowing, understanding, and you do things without even knowing that you know how to do them. So some people would say that's part of unconscious competence, that you do things and you don't even know sometimes how you're getting them done. You're just getting them done. So for me, I'm a doctor of clinical psychology, um, and have been doing this actually more than 15 years, actually, doing manifesting. I've read probably over 100 books on manifesting, taken training, been part of a group for a while, and still part of that group, but have done, a lot of work and talked with a lot of people, have attended presentations and trainings and things like that for um, learning how to attract riches and manifest the things that I desire in my life. So have been doing this for quite a long time, more than 15 years, and have seen some amazing things for myself and also from the clients that I've worked with. And so that's why I want to share some of the information with you about attracting riches. All right. So tell you the story of when I first, I would say, got to be proficient and got to be a believer that anything was possible with things like the spiritual techniques, spiritual laws, the law of attraction, um, things like that. So probably the foundational story that I have that helped to build my faith in things like spiritual techniques, law of attraction, um, and helped me to see that it was possible for everything was a story. It was a very impactful experience that I had, very powerful experience. So it was, I'll say, 2009, around 2009, 2010, I would say, um, that my mom and I started out with it. We were, I would say, playing around with the technique. And so if she had aches and pains, things like that, we would do our spiritual techniques and it would work. She would see, reduce pain, or, if she had problems breathing, we would do our techniques and she would see improvements in the breathing. She had diabetes. Um, she had high blood pressure and things like that. And we would do our techniques and she would see improvements in those things. Numbers would come down for diabetes, or breathing would improve, or, blood pressure, the numbers would come down, things like that. And so we actually, let me back up. So 2000, 2001, my mom got on oxygen. She had smoked. She said the first time she tasted a cigarette, she was 11 years old. And at the time that she got on oxygen, she was in her 50s, I believe. So that was more than 40 years of smoking. And they told her, and I begged my mom, of course, to stop smoking. She would sometimes cough herself unconscious, but over the years, you can imagine it wore on her lungs. And eventually, they told her she would have to quit smoking or it'll cost her life. And so she was the strongest person, strongest that I've ever seen. She quit cold turkey after 40 some years, never went back to smoking. So she had to have oxygen. She had the nasal cannula 24/7, pretty much. And she had a machine at night, the CPAP. So my mom, like I said, we started messing around with, the spiritual techniques and law of attraction things. And she would get relief, and I would get relief if I had anything going on as well. And so we both saw um, improvements to whatever was going on with us. And we ended up continuing on 2000. I want to say it was 2010. My mom's health took a turn for the worse. And like I told you, she had a lot of health issues. So I remember my oldest sister calling me and she said, I needed to come. I was about 4 hours away. And she said, I needed to come, that my mom was not doing well. And I said, okay, well, let me try to get some rest. Because at the time I was in private practice and I had hospital privileges. So I was pretty busy and I hadn't gotten much sleep, but so I said, well, let me see if I could get some rest and I will come tomorrow. So I, packed all my stuff. I don't know about you, but, again, let me just back up a little bit, being in private practice. So when I joined this practice, this was my first time experiencing a private practice, and I really didn't know what to expect or anything. So I had talked with the provider and I asked him how come he was no longer a part of other people's group, that he had, went out on his own. And he said, I knew that I would never get a larger percentage than I was getting at the time from the practice owner. He would never give me more. I knew that. And so I was thinking, well, if you're giving me about the same percentage, why would you expect me to do the same thing, you know? And it didn't make sense to me. So anyway, I ended up, I tabled that and I said, I'll come back to that, but it doesn't make sense to me and it's not really fair. And so I had a lot of mixed feelings about it. Um, my mom's health took a turn for the worse, like I said, and that night, I don't know about you, but we don't always have access to like the utensils and food and things like that that we want when we travel. So I said, I cooked up, the food that I wanted to take with me and just packed it up, packed all my clothes up and all that stuff and was ready to go. And then I had said, okay, so let me try to get some rest. So I laid down. My sister called again and said, our mom was not doing well to come. So I got on the road, second call. And when I did that, and I got there, she was not doing well. They had given my mom, she was worried. She didn't want to go to the hospital, but my sister said she was going to take her anyway. She was worried, and rightly so, because when she got there, she was really nervous and stressed about it, and they gave her something to calm her. And when they did that, it was something that, as I told you, her lungs, you know, from smoking over the years were pretty beat up. And so the medicine that they took her suppressed lung functioning, and it almost took the medicine that they gave her, suppressed lung function, almost took her under, and it almost took her life. And so we were not ready to lose her, of course. Um, and so for us, it was really a hard experience, a hard journey. She was up and down, up and down. We never really saw her improvement last any time. And when we talked to the doctor, the physicians, allopathic physicians, when we talked to them, they told us, well, they weren't sure what the problem was. And I remember talking to a resident, I believe, when I asked him, about this, he said, well, what we do is treat something, and if it responds, then we say that's the thing. So they really had no idea what the real issue was with her. And so she was up and down for a couple weeks. And I talked to God, first. And this was the first time that something was wrong, and I could not do anything for my mom. So I talked to God and I said, well, God, I know that if we don't believe in the physician cannot heal. And so I said, well, let me try to put some belief in the healer. And his name, well, I won't give his name, but the doctor, I said, let me try to put some faith in him as a healer. And I'm giving it 2 weeks. It had already been 2 weeks. So I'm saying I'll give it 2 weeks. And if nothing changes, something's got to change. We tried to move her to a different hospital that we knew was better, that had treated our dad successfully, and it did fine. And the hospital wouldn't let us. They had called me one night between 2 and 3 in the morning, because I would sleep in her room just in a chair, beside her bed. And they had called me between 2 and 3 in the morning one time, and they said, did you guys still want to move her? And I said, yep. I don't think they expected me to be up and say that. And I said, yes, move her. There's a bed open at the hospital. And of course they came back, oh no, it turns out that they don't have a bed open. They wouldn't let us move her. And in the end, so 2 weeks later, she's up and down, no, lasting improvement or anything like that. And we said, when we talked to my mom said it saved my life. And so we said we would do, of course, everything that we could. And so and I had talked to my friend, and I said, this is the first time I have to put my mom in God's hands. There's nothing. The doctors are saying they cannot do anything. They don't know what is wrong. Me, I'm not, I'm a doctor of psychology. So I said, you know, at the end of that 2 weeks, I talked to God and I said, God, I know you can heal her like nobody else can. And that was Friday. Within 2 days, so it's Sunday, my mom was ready to go home. That's how fast she was healed. God healed her. And so it was, me doing my spiritual work, and she she was ready to go home Sunday night. They said they would keep her overnight for observation. Monday, she went home. And that's how fast it works. That's how fast these spiritual things work. That she was healed that fast that she got, you know, she got better. And they had told us, at the end of all that, they said we almost lost her 3 times and she was really sick and all this. And they sent the chaplain. They said, do you want the chaplain to come see her? And I said, you could send the chaplain, but she's coming home with us. And she ended up living, still a couple years after that. And it was just a miracle. And that was one of the experiences, the most important experience that I ever had, where I knew that it would work with anything. And since then, it's worked, whether it's health stuff, whether it's finances, whether it's, other things, it's worked, and it's been an amazing thing to see. So I say to you, I've seen it work with so many different things, but of course, we're here for attracting riches. So I want to get into some of the secrets for attracting riches here. All right, so the first major key or major secret to attract riches: associate with winners. Be around others who are successful, because the energy can rub off on you. So I've heard that 5 years, 10 years from now, the average of the income of your 5 best friends will be your income. And so if you want, crazy amounts of income, and I use the word, but amazing income, associate with winners, be around others who are, high earning, associate with others who have great energy, be in a place, number 2, be in a place where rich people congregate. So they say Aristotle Onassis, which was one of the richest men in the world, he married the late John F. Kennedy's wife, Jackie Kennedy, after President Kennedy passed away. And he said if he were to lose all his money, he would go to a place where rich people congregated, because he would get opportunities as if by magic, that you can be around others who have resources. You can attract opportunities to yourself that way. And another thing, use your mind. Number 3, major secret to attract riches, or major key: use your mind to create. See things not as they are, but as you would have them be. And so those are the 3 things we're going to be discussing. Associate with winners. So tell you some more things. So my friend's daughter is very lucky, as they would say. So she attracts a lot of things. So you want to associate with someone like that. So her daughter, she was saying once, randomly walking through the mall, and her daughter says, I want a talking unicorn. And my sister, or my friend, is saying, a talking unicorn. There is no talking unicorn. She walked through the mall, walked straight up to a store that had a talking unicorn, a little, little plastic or stuffed animal, talking unicorn of all things. So she said that she um, went to her mom had asked her to go to the store and get um, some scratch off tickets for her. And she said that she had put too much money in the machine. She let her daughter choose, some tickets. Her daughter ended up winning $20 and kept winning. And she was saying, I think she won a total of $90. Around her birthday, she was winning money and just winning, just so things like that, just attracting. And now you might have said, if a person was involved, well, yeah, it's because the person heard her, trying to help her out. But it's a machine that she was influencing, if you think about it, and she was winning money from the machine. So because my friend, has said she never won 100% of the time, but her daughter was winning good money. So she was saying, and actually she and I had went to a casino actually, and we ended up winning, doing our spiritual techniques and using the law of attraction. We actually ended up winning at the casino before. Um, Both of us, not just one, but both of us won. So another experience, so my friend was complaining, that her ex, now she has a little boy and her ex wasn't treating him right, treating her right, and financially wasn't trying to help out. And I told her, the spiritual techniques. And the next thing you know, she got a raise. So she got 25,000 for the current year. And it was almost the end of the year. I think it was December. She got 25,000 for the next year. So she ended up getting a total of $50,000. And she was going to get a stipend for living, just living expenses and things like that that she would have for work. So she ended up winning thousands of dollars, as you can see, 50,000 plus that she got using these techniques. And so associating with people who have a certain energy, and also, we're talking about um, being around places where rich people congregate or where wealthy people congregate, so that you can get opportunities. And it's been, my experience even lately that I've, been around others who have money and have seen and experienced that I'm getting so many more opportunities just by being around others who are prosperous, whether it's, whatever it might be, extra clients or, more ability to work, more open availability so that I could work more. It's just so many different things, being exposed to different people that I'm experiencing, that I'm able to do more. Um, and see, number number three, I was talking about the major secret to attract riches, that you are using your mind to create, seeing things as you would have them be instead of as they are. So I work with a client and was helping her. So she had some noisy neighbors upstairs, and the neighbors wouldn't be quiet. And she was telling me, I don't want to go and confront the neighbors and start a fight or argument or anything. I just want them to be quiet. I want to have peace in my home. So talked to her, helped her with spiritual techniques. And so this is the first time with her doing the law of attraction stuff. And she said that when she uses technique, it worked every single time. It was just like she was standing there talking to these people, and they would get quiet immediately. when she used this technique. And so she had another experience where she had a pet, a little puppy, and the dog she had, I think she had rescued the dog from a shelter or something like that. But so she got the dog, and the dog was acting out. It wouldn't go potty outside. It would go like under the table, and so she couldn't get the dog to act right. And she said, "I might just have to get rid of the dog and give it away." And I talked to her about the techniques she could use. The next week she had came in, no problem with the dog. The dog was acting perfectly fine. It was okay, and it was just using these techniques um, have worked wonders for her. She said, um, and so I had another client who, you know, was saying that she wanted this bench to put at the end of her bed, but she didn't want to pay for it. And so I asked her about the price of it, and it was around $100. And she ended up um, saying, "Okay, well, I don't want to pay for it. I want it. I want the bench." And so I asked her, "Well, what kind of um, price do you want for it?" So she named the price around $34 or something like that. I said, "Okay." Well, told her the techniques. And next week she came in, I got the price for that bench, but I don't want to pay for it. So she ended up getting her partner to pay for the bench. So she didn't even have to pay for it. And she really didn't ask him directly. She was just saying she wanted this bench. Um, so I have yet another client that I was working with, and she was saying she was working a full-time job. She wanted to quit the full-time job and go into her own. She's was saying that she wanted to go into her own, open her own business and really make enough so that so she had her own business. She wanted to get out of the full-time job and do her business full-time so that she wouldn't have to um, do the full-time job or do that anymore. She wasn't, having success with getting along with some coworkers and supervisors and things like that. So when she started doing these techniques, I would say within a couple months, she was making at least K a month because it was what was required for her to move into luxury place. She ended up um, quitting her job. She moved out of the state to a different state where she knew she would be more successful in her business. And she ended up, making the money that she wanted to make to get out of that full-time job. Um, I have a family member, my sister, another sister, middle sister, who I was, telling about some of these techniques, the law of attraction and things like that. We were doing these things at the same time. She didn't know that I was doing it at the same time as her. And she said, guess what? I don't know how it happened, but she ended up getting $5,000 off of her debt, credit card debt, just doing these techniques. Um, another, I had another experience with, and if you're joining us, say hi on the line or in the chat. Um, we are just sharing some of the information about these major secrets to attract riches. So, had another example. So, my other sister was telling me, she really didn't get a lot of breaks when it came to, finding, work or finding something that would benefit her for her to make money. She was thinking of getting into this, you know, driving position where it would have been a hazmat thing. And I was telling her she shouldn't do that. And because her health is at risk, she has family members, kids that she would be exposing to that, and she didn't need to do it. And at first she was, kind of upset about it. And then within the next day, she ended up winning the lottery for maybe it was between three and $500. And then she ended up within the next week finding a contract where she could have her own business, got paid better than she had ever been paid, really, was valued, everyone loved her. And it's just using these things to be able to attract the riches that you want, the success that you want into your life. And so I say these things, I share these stories with you because they're so important to helping others, I would say, to develop their belief that these things could work. So, had another experience with my friend where she ended up, she had to spend money for something that she thought was not fair. She ended up getting a check in the mail to cover that plus some. And then my same friend, she had a problem. Her husband had passed away, and she had a problem with the insurance company, going back and forth with her, fighting with her about this. And so she ended up getting this check, 200, a $250,000 in the end, using these spiritual techniques. And I'm just saying there are so many different benefits to, this. And part of it is attracting riches into your life. And so many different experiences that people have had, so many different successes with attracting riches. And so hopefully you can use these secrets that I've shared with you to attract riches into your life. And so I know I have covered, a lot of ground in a short period of time. So maybe you're thinking, oh, can you be new to this? Can you still get results if you're new to this? As you could see, like my friend's daughter at the time was 5 or 6 years old, and she was winning money from scratch offs, or maybe, having a lot of faith. And so, with my friend, with, a lot of people that I've worked with, they weren't sure. And one, the one client who got the bench, that was her first time ever doing it. And she was trying to build faith, and eventually go back to find a church home. You don't have to have a lot of experiences. You can see a lot of the people that I talked about, this is, maybe their first time doing it. You don't need a family history of gurus. None of those people that I talked about have family history, except, like, I would say my mom was very spiritually powerful person. But as my clients, the kids, people that I know that actually manifested money, don't really have family of spiritual gurus. Having had negative experiences, things have turned around. I saw a testimonial with a young man who lost his wallet, and he did another technique and ended up within a couple weeks or a couple months getting his wallet back. And he didn't have any contact information in the wallet for anyone to get in touch with him. And so that's how powerful it could be for relationships at work. I have a family member who, was afraid that the guy that she was interested in wouldn't get back in touch with her. And I told her a technique to use. I said, either tonight or tomorrow, he will get back in touch with you because he will feel this. And he did. Either that night or the next day, he got back in touch with her. But it's just, now you can see the things that you can do to attract riches into your life. These major secrets to associate with winners, to go to places where rich people or wealthy people congregate, and also to use your mind to create, to see things not as they are, but as you would have them be. So let me ask you a question. If you followed what I showed you in secret number one and you associated with winners. And then you did what I showed you in secret number two, and you went to a place where rich people congregated because the energy would be there and you would get opportunities as if by magic. And if you did what I said in secret number three, you use secret number three and you use your mind to create seeing things as you would have them be and not as they are. Do you think you could be successful? Um, yes, I hear a yes. And so let me ask you another question. How many of you are excited about what we just talked about? Yes, yes. Sounds like yes. So, how many of you might be feeling a little overwhelmed because I covered so much? We've covered so much. Yeah, maybe yes. It's impossible, of course, to show you everything that you need to get the results in just an hour presentation, but I tried to cover as much as I could. Um, so, I have created something special for you and I encourage you to reach out to me. You can call 571-355-0753. Again, that's 571-355-0753. You could also reach me at 630-568-9239. Again, that's 630-568-9239. You can email me at the email that you have from this Eventbrite advertisement, whole7 at gmail.com. WHOLE, the letter U, the number 7 at gmail.com. And you can also go to the website if you would like to connect with me that way. And you could get more information about this special offer. And you can go to my website. It's www.whole7.com/accelerated_manifesting. Again, that's www.whole7.com, and it's /accelerated_manifesting. So it's ACCELERATED underscore MANIFESTING. Okay. So if you would like to connect with me and find out more information, again, you can call me 571-355-0753. Again, that's 571-355-0753. You could also reach me 630-568-9239. Again, that's 630-568-9239. You could reach me whole7 at gmail.com or whole7.com/accelerated_manifesting. Okay, so I want to thank you again for joining me today. Hope you got information that you needed, that you can use those major secrets that can help you to start attracting the riches that you want into your life. You just have to make a decision about investing in yourself. I would say that's the most important manifestation that you can make. If everything can change, if you can attract the riches that you want, live the life that you want. I'm looking forward to working with you to see just how much we can help you to attract. Okay, thanks so much for joining me again. and looking forward to working with you in the future. Okay, and bye for now.